Hello everyone, and welcome to an episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time we're covering Digimon Adventure: 2020, episode 51, The Mystery Hidden Within the Crests, / also Seele reference, because there had to be an Evangelion reference in there somewhere. I'm May, and this time I'm joined by the lovely co-hosts as always. So first up we have lovely Quinn.
Hi.
Lovely Chloe.
Hello.
And of course, equally lovely Evie.
Hello.
Housekeeping. I did get, somebody is working on a Digimon fan comic that they said that we kind of gave them some ideas when we were talking about the ideas we wanted for a future Digimon series. I only just saw the email today though, so I haven't really looked at it yet, but thank you so much, Dash, for saying that through.
Yeah,
I will make sure that we all see it. Yes. I sort of skimmed through it and I was like, I don't have much time because I'm having a birthday, but also this is really cute.
Aww.
So I just wanted to mention that because I wanted to actually look at it, but I was like, oh, if I'd feel bad if we didn't mention, if I didn't mention it, that yes, I got that. That was very
early
cool.
thank you, Dash.
Yes. And, yeah, so that's basically it for the housekeeping. No internet updates, for the internet situation at home, yet. It's still, it's happening, but we entered, our new lockdown got extended by another week, so
cool.
Probably not going to be happening for another week, at least, but, whatever. It happens. I'm dealing.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, I am also on cell phone hotspot internet tonight. So, we've really got that professional podcast feel going.
Oh, yes. Yes, and that internet can be very interesting sometimes. And I just realized that we're using Quinn's Zoom call. So I'm pretty sure if the host of a Zoom call leaves, everyone leaves.
No, it'll make someone else the host.
I have the option
really?
to make everyone leave, but if I just leave by accident,
Okay.
it just gives
I was
it to
about
someone.
to say, imagine if we're all just disconnected and we're like, well, I guess we could just all individually do our own podcast, and I'll just it'll be a mess
Just
to
compare
edit, but
notes
just halfway
Can we
through,
do
just
that? That sounds really quick and easy. I'll spend 5 minutes on it and go back to bed for a nap.
Yeah, I want to go. But I was about to say back to. I was in a food-induced sleepy time for 2 hours, and I just woke up and I was just like, oh no, sleep was a bad mistake. I haven't mastered the dad nap yet. The episode starts up, and of course, all the Chosen are completely exhausted from the battle. Koshiro gets a call from Garbamon, who we saw a bunch of episodes ago, so it's super nice that we're remembering characters exist. That's big props for that.
But... anyway.
Yeah. And then he shows Koshiro the crest knowledge symbol, and then the children go into a forest with television displays on the trees, and I'm just seeing oh no, if we're gonna do a tree of life, tree of knowledge, Yggdrasil kind of
that's
stuff.
That's what I said, and no.
Oh no, I mean, it could still happen later on, because Koshiro's spoiler is staying here.
Yeah, I think we were just doing, this is definitely a Frontier sequel, and this is the television forest that they fell asleep in once.
Yeah, I also got Cross Wars vibes from the Monotomon Ninja Village.
But then I briefly was very excited when Bokomon showed up. Oh
yeah, there's this when Bokomon shows up, there's just all caps in my notes because it's just really exciting. Also, I'm just reading through my notes and I'm they meet Garbamon, who I wrote as meat as in, meat. The food, not meat as in you meet someone. Okay. So that's that kind of...
Garbamon does get Vored.
That's very uwu that they meet him.
There is Vor. I was about to say there's no Vor, because there's always Ghibli, Evangelion, or Vor, but there was Vor today. He just got regurgitated.
Yes,
they couldn't not give you Vor on your birthday.
There was a little.
Why? I didn't want Vor for my birthday.
As a treat.
Why are you watching Digimon?
Because we haven't had this much Vor for a while, so it was kind of maybe we're done with Vor. Anyway, so they meet Garbamon, and we find that Garbamon has met Wisemon, and Wisemon is tiny for some reason. It's just adorably tiny.
I kind of expected him to keep, growing at some point out of the book, but no, it just doesn't happen.
Wisemon is as small as his personality.
Yeah.
Oh no, I actually kind of liked Wisemon's personality in this because he's just this knowledge brings me joy. This brings me joy. This brings me joy.
This brings joy to my knowledge.
It's a knowledge elemental.
Yeah, I was here for it.
I mean, I'm really here for it. Tentomon and Garbamon have a one-sided rivalry. Garbamon shows up and Tentomon's jealous. which is just like, it's so precious that he's like, that's my human. It is just, it's adorable. Anyway, so Gabumon says that maybe, not Gabumon, Gomamon, other Digimon starting with G, says that maybe Wisemon and Joe will get along. And then Joe's like, oh, I don't know about that. And then that's like all he says the entire episode. So
he also
no
gets
Gomamon,
called
they will not get
leader
along.
once at the end, so that's fine.
Once at the end, yes. At the end, but that's he's not going to talk to Wisemon. Koshiro is. So if you thought that they were going to do anything with Joe and Wisemon getting along or knowing anything about Joe as a person anymore, nope, just Koshiro now.
Hey, fortunately, we've got a separation arc in our future, and those are always good.
Yeah, well, there is that, except for Taichi's, who's just like, basically, I guess we're jumping ahead, but his is the special one because, one, he's the main character, and two, also, like, 100%, that just means he can literally be in every character's evolution episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just going to continually point him towards whoever is evolving next week, which is just like, can't characters have an episode without Taichi being in it? Like, I know we mention it every episode now, but, like, it is egregious. Very much... When Taichi's not on the screen, they should be asking, where's Taichi? I know Quinn says that every episode, and it's true. It's just, oh no, but yeah, we are jumping ahead a little bit. So a bunch of Mechanorimon show up, and I'm like, yay! And then, turns out, Bokumon are just riding the Mechanorimon. They're, like, controlling it. And that's just, like, Bokumon's here.
I kind of hate it.
Yeah, I'm unclear on why they needed a pilot.
Yeah, now I'm like, which Digimon is autonomous? Is the one like a slave now to the pilot?
Are we just doing pet play in public?
Yeah,
I think
no links
in the original. In the original, I think we had Jedi driving one.
We did. I mean, it's definitely had precedent. It just seems really weird that this entire team needs Bokumon.
I'm just glad he's here, to be honest.
Yeah. That said, I was really sad when at no point did he say anything about Jutoshino. God, I can't remember the whole thing anymore, about the 10 legendary warriors.
I just wanted the Gunpachi.
I thought they were going to do that for a minute and just be like, yeah, actually the crests are absolutely based on the ancient Digimon or whatever. The
legendary warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been, like, a really obvious... Anyway, that is not what happens.
Spoiler.
Yeah, and also, like, they don't match up as much. Like, there's, like, wind and water, and I guess water goes with Joe, but, like...
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of... Oh, I guess wood goes with Mimi.
Yeah.
And air, I guess
metal
air could go with...
is, I guess, Nat?
Yeah, I'm thinking of, like, air could go with Sora.
Ooh.
Even though I always thought of her as more like a fire one. But
yeah,
fire is Agumon. And, what would Patamon be?
There was a weird looking holy crest there. But
no, we're making references to a thing you've never seen, so
it's okay. You're not missing out on anything, Chloe.
Yeah, I was speculating on plot that did not actually happen, that could have happened, but is not.
There were two characters shot.
Would Patamon be dark?
Or Tailmon is one of the two.
But then who would be light?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think light would be Tailmon.
I would think
Patamon
so,
would be dark.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Joe is water.
Mm-hmm.
Gabumon is ice.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Sure.
I guess it actually does match up.
Yeah.
But there's just two. There'll be two leftovers.
Yeah, and it's Taichi, so he can just have 3.
Oh no, they would do that. They would. Don't do that to me, Digimon. No, we're giving them ideas. Anyway. So the children are brought to a room with the crests, and they all recognise them as symbols on their digivices, and Wisemon just straight up says that they're called crests. So we have what they're called, but not the individual names of them.
And oddly enough, I'd like to point out only real reveal this whole episode?
Yeah, I thought we'd get lore. I really wanted plot and lore, but it was kind of like, oh, by the way, there's another bad guy. And that's because, look, at least they mentioned they had Soundbirdmon showing up again, randomly. Yeah. Did not expect that.
To bring Kirbymon?
Yeah, to bring Burpmon, yeah.
No.
Which is an old Digimon. It's really weird seeing this old Digimon that I just never thought to see. I did not even
remember Burpmon existing, and yeah, what a weird villain of the week.
I think I mentioned Bertmon in the end of the last episode, saying that it's a Digimon that you get on one virtual pet if your Digimon gets above 80 pounds. And then, but it also can be like if you connect to another Digimon, they also become Bertmon.
Huh.
So it's like, it's not a real Digimon. It's like a real Digimon, but it's like a sickness that they become Kirby.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. And it's kind of nice to see them use that design.
Yeah.
And also a bunch of Digimon in this episode showing up. Like, we also get to see, for the first time animated, Wormmon's armor evolution, which only showed up in the 02 CD drama.
I thought... Which one are we talking about now?
Puchimon. There's a pink one and a green one, but the pink one is Wormmon's evolution.
Oh,
Little
those ones.
bunny friend. Yeah.
The ones with like the heart ears.
I thought we were talking about the little metal insect who also shows up again. I don't remember that.
No,
one.
that's I think that's Wormmon with the crest of.
Okay, I knew it was a Wormmana, but that makes sense. Yeah.
Or maybe it's hang on. I need to search that up, but it might actually be Patamon or Tailmon, but I'm not 100%.
Anyway,
I will quickly look it up. All I know
we should maybe talk about this episode so that we can make it a long one.
Yes, we should make a long. It is Wormmon. My first guess was right.
Okay.
Anyway. So, so we have the Pokemon show up and they go to the crests, and 51 episodes in, we get to know what they're called, not the individual names of them, and not much information other than the fact that they just exist.
Yep.
So each child approaches the crest, and Koshiro says that he always just thought it was an icon to identify each owner of the Digivice when they were talking, which...
I mean, I guess that's fair.
I'm glad that somebody actually...
He just thought it was the default
noticed it.
pick.
Yeah. It's weird that nobody actually mentioned it, like, throughout the show. Like, no one said, hey, I wonder what those icons are. I think even at one point early on, we were like, have they seen the icons?
Yeah.
But yes, apparently they have.
Decided that they were just doing the imagery but not going to do anything with crests, and we lauded them for it.
Yeah, and I just sort of got used to the fact that we weren't going to be learning about that, but...
Yeah, 50 episodes it's time to finally make that pay off.
Yeah, which feels weird. Like, this is 51 episodes in, and I do like the fact that, again, jumping ahead a little bit, the evil, the Great Catastrophe, is apparently tying into what happened in the real world, and Nidhoggmon, and all that evil stuff that was going on before, and also Soundbirdmon. But it is just weird that it just kind of paused during Millenniummon.
Yeah, well, we've had
two
separate
that
arcs
was still
that
happening.
Just paused that whole thing, so now we're going back to stuff that was happening in episode, 15.
Or even earlier than that. Like, we even found that Algomon was because of that.
Because everything from Devimon through Millenniummon has really just not touched on most of this.
Which is weird, like, I know it's kind of like a reveal that, like, all of this is actually because of the Great Catastrophe, but it would have also
raise your
been...
hand, that surprised you.
I mean, I'm not surprised by it, but it's also they sure did not mention it for an entire arc, so I was just under the impression that it just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Apparently did not stop. Which is so weird. Like, we were having updates every episode about what was happening in the real world.
The words fake news, and it was really weird and disquieting, to be honest.
And but why are we learning that 20 episodes later
it's
still happening?
This is really trusting kids to remember an awful lot about a show that they've been watching now for over a year.
Yeah, April last year. Like, this time last year, it was on hiatus still until July.
Mm-hmm.
And we've still got... 15 episodes to go?
Yep, and we don't know who the villain is. So that's 15
weeks. Yet. We don't know who the villain is. Well, this isn't a spoiler, because I don't know the names, but on the Digivice, there were, like, still 3 bad guys, but they were all question mark. And it was just called question mark. So it's like, I think it was like, or maybe it was just 2. One was like a whale thing, and one looked like the Doom and D&D eyeball thing.
Yeah, so there are some additional bosses that are being teased, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a really, this was a real problem in Original Adventure 2, that you can't keep just inventing a new villain and saying, aha, they were actually responsible for everything that previous guy's plan included.
I mean, I like the fact that at least we're addressing the Soundbirdmon and the Algomon again. Like, it's good that they're not just pulling it out of nowhere.
It's just, I really find it just so annoying that Millenniummon is permanently dead, because we had finally established a villain. again. Still no real motive
that's
or
why,
personality, but something. But now we gotta start
over. Yeah, that's
over
why
again.
I really... Yeah, like, last episode, that's why I didn't like it, like, at all, because after all that build-up, Millenniumon was, like, really killed in one episode, and there was so much build-up to that, and
that's the
then
same
became
thing that
Z
happened to
Millenniumon.
Devimon.
Yeah, but I don't think that Millenniumon... Like, at least Devimon had, like, one, like, more or less a character, sort of, and then also came back to reveal that he was actually the shadow self of Angemon. I don't think we'll be getting that with Millenniumon. Like, I don't think Millenniumon's going to show up and be the shadow self of Agumon. Yeah. I like how we both thought Agumon. That's...
Well, yeah, I mean, we're gonna just... Look, we've only got room for one main character, so if we have to force a Jogress with Millenniummon, it's gonna be Agumon's turn.
Well, yeah, I guess because of Mugendramon evolution. And also, when they brought back Mugendramon, and Yamato, like, briefly was like, hey, Mugendramon is the one that, when Taichi was Vord, Agumon turned into, and then thought about that for, like, a second, and then never mentioned it ever again. That is still incredibly wild to me. And it was also wild, the fact of, like, oh, Mugendramon, oh, and then also Millenniumon showing up. Are they gonna do it? No, they're not.
Yep. Did they spend more time fighting Mugendramon than they did Millenniumon? I can't remember now.
Sure did.
Yep.
Well, yeah, sure did. For all that build-up, we've seen more of Mugendramon than we did of Millenniumon, who was in a gem for, like... And remember Skull Knightmon? That was cool.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us did, but hey, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bash this episode, too much, because it's really, like, problems with the larger series. But at the same time, this episode also was very nothing.
Yeah. Oh, it was very much... It was an episode. It was there. This is an episode that the original adventure has a lot of, which are just episodes that exist. And I think when people, like, who really like adventure talk about how great adventure is, they're talking about the good episodes of adventure, and I don't think original adventure has many bad episodes. They just have a lot of, like... They have, like, I would say, personally, 70% of original adventure is just... They're just episodes.
Yeah.
They're there. They sort of go from point A to point B, and they're there.
I'm very distinctly reminded of original adventure. We run into Kentaramon, who explains that, oh, by the way, the Digivices you've got are really important, and you can make evil Digimon good again if you just hold them up against them. So let's do that maybe 3 times ever.
Yeah, but at least they talked about it. At least they gave something. At least, when Genai showed up and gave a prophecy, he would give you the full story. Like, Wisemon just says, there's a great catastrophe.
Thanks. We don't know what it is, except
great.
Bad things are still gonna happen. And
good luck with this, kid. Off you go. Separation arc. See ya.
Yeah.
It's just...
and the fact that they have this whole research facility to basically know nothing other than the word crest.
Yep. Not even the traits. There's not even a moment where they're like,
yeah, no.
Oh, what about these crests? What are they called? Oh, no.
Yeah, we have a Wisemon
no follow-up questions.
And a bunch of, one-off characters from earlier in the season who got together to do a big research thing so that they could help the children out and said, hey, those things that you've been looking at? They've got a name. Also, apparently you have a compass, but we didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, look, okay, it's just because
No, I think the crests gave the compass.
When he learns more, he'll get bigger.
Yeah, I wanted that. I wanted Wisemon to get bigger with knowledge, but no, he just got more joyful, and joyful did not make him big.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're learning about the Great Catastrophe, and we find out the Millenniumon was just a stepping stone, and Garbamon says that all the events in the real world are due to this other evil, and then we see that the Soundbirdmon are back, which is really wild to me, because in the first, 10 episodes, the Soundbirdmon were in every episode, and there were flocks of them, and then they kind of just stopped.
Yeah, this feels like if a
it's
Pokemon
weird.
had brought back Black Gears.
Yeah, well,
And
I guess they are just
when that happened? Which I guess they did in Zero
Yeah.
2.
I called Sunbird
the
Black
Gears
Gears
did
back
come
at the start of this podcast.
Oh, you absolutely did,
Yeah.
and they are. I just meant, what
They
a
are.
weird decision to then bring that back as a major mechanic this late.
and also
They
on a
didn't
different
really?
continent. They're on a different continent, aren't they?
I don't know.
Who knows? We're so unclear.
Because they moved to 2 different continents since then, right? I'm
there
fairly
was
certain
Final
because they're
Island
now
or
at
whatever we
Farga.
started on. Then we went to Cloud. We fell off of Cloud onto, I don't know if we ever learned a name for it.
Farga.
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
guess,
just Farga.
yeah. There's a lot of
And it's
geography
just-
in
I
this
don't know.
show that never matters.
And it's not, like, I don't, like, I can remember a lot of the areas in Original Adventure, even when I had only watched it once. I was like, okay, they go to File, then they go to Folder, and then they go to Spiral Mountain. Even when I, like, only watched it once and then was remembering it later on, I can remember it. Yeah, I watched this, like, you know, within the last year, and I can't remember what each, I don't even know if the first one's called File. I can't remember if they said that. I know the one was called Cloud.
Yeah, that's the only one that
because it was in the cloud, and I thought that was a cool name. But yeah, it just yeah. It is weird.
I remember
anyway.
like a weird card lore about the Scuzzy Zone.
To the pieces fall into place in Chloe's brain in real time. That's why it's called Cloud Continent.
Anyway, so the we find out there's a pink blob eating everything. It's me. No, it's Burpmon, which is just looks like Kirby the way it starts.
Yeah, it's and just absolutely Kirby, and I thought we were just ripping off some IP for a bit here.
I mean, Kirby is definitely older than Burpmon. Burpmon was around the time that Savers was out. I think Burpmon's like only 16 years old in terms of a design, maybe 15. I don't know. Came out with the Digimon twins, which was around the just after Digimon Savers, I think.
Oh, anyway, so that's way past Kirby. So
yeah, way past Kirby, because Kirby was like before actual Digimon. Anyway, so Poochimon comes to tell the children that there's a bunch of things happening with this Burpmon, and then Burpmon wants to eat the crests, and then Agumon evolved to Greymon, Palmon to Togemon, Gavumon to Garurumon, Beomon to Birdramon, Tentomon to Kabuterimon, Gomon to Akakumon, and we find out that Patamon and Tailmon can't evolve, and I'm just like, oh, I guess they're setting up something to do with their future evolutions to their angel megaforms, maybe?
I think we just have decided to make it so that they can't be the Deus Ex Machina every episode, just most of them.
Which I guess is good, but also we're so selective with not letting characters evolve. Like, they're too tired to evolve. Like,
yeah, like
they pull it out only sometimes.
Can go to Mega anytime he wants, and Agumon's fine, but those kids do it once, and that's way too much.
Yeah, that's enough plot for them. Too much plot. Take it away. Anyway, so I want to praise the animators for only having the non-full evolution for Agumon, because honestly I was expecting it to do the full animation then just everyone else in Orb evolution, but that's honestly happy that they kept it all the same, which is the only time I'll praise the animators this episode, because the animation was a lot of just sliding on a static background, which I don't like to point out and make fun at the animation often, but this episode was just not... Well, it reminded me of... And I know it's my time to make the Evangelion reference. It was just the last chunk of episodes of Evangelion where they just lost the budget. And it was just a lot of characters from very far away having full-length conversations.
I disagree. On account of the fact that the ending of Ava was good and this episode was just...
I think you're just referring to animation.
Oh, okay. Well, but
I'm just referring
to... They didn't even lose their budget, though. They made a bunch of new animation techniques for that last couple episodes. Is the fun factor.
Yeah,
but for the episodes that they were saving that for.
Yeah. Regardless, I think.
Yeah, the far off discussions when they're you can't see their mouth move, but they're having these 10-minute long discussions, but they don't feel like animating everything, so they don't. I just had that impression. Anyway. So
yeah, but at least in Ava,
they all start attacking Burpmon.
Yeah, Ava also would do
Burpmon
a weird Dutch angle, so that it felt like it had a reason. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'll let you get back to Digimon now.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm always here for the Ava discussion. This is the sound-only podcast, after all. So yeah, Burpmon keeps eating the attacks and gets bigger, and then just straight up roars Garbamon, which is honestly unforgivable because Garbamon is the best character and I love. But ends up spitting him out because apparently he has preference, which is a kind of a funny little joke, but also such a burn.
Yeah, it's quite a burn, but also he's gonna literally eat garbage here in a minute. Come on.
Yeah, what a mood though. I'll eat garbage, but not that garbage.
Poor you've
Garbamon,
convinced me actually.
Oh really? Anyway, so the children then return to the crests and that they fight the first, and it's a really quick fight because they all just decide to evolve to perfect, throw Bertmon outside, then they realise that what if we just threw all the garbage data from earlier into Bertmon eats that data and then explodes because it's bad data. And at least we all had perfect because Lilymon, Wenwegurumon, and Zudamon are the ones that show up with the data. So I'm glad that we all got to help here. I'm glad that we did that. So yeah, the children then return to the crests and get arrows pointing in different directions on each Digivice. And this just means we're getting a separation arc. Except for Taichi's, who points in every single direction. And I'm like, okay, this is either because he already has all these evolutions unlocked, or just because the writers want to put him in every single evolution episode. Which is annoying.
Yeah.
We have Koshiro deciding that he wants to stay behind, and then we learn that Tailmon and Patamon are exhausted. So Joe and Gomon remember the hot springs, and then they decide to take Patamon and Tailmon to the hot springs, which I'm so happy about because when we just sort of discovered, like, Joe just sort of showed up, I was kind of disappointed because we didn't get, like, his hot spring arc adventures. Like, that's what I want, and maybe we're finally getting that.
I think we are going to finally get that.
Which is good, because, you know, I just want Vikemon at the hot springs having a good time.
Mm-hmm. And maybe
being a hero.
Tailmon to have little a character as a treat.
Yeah, well, we haven't had her as a character since she, like, showed up, which is sad.
Yeah,
I'm still happy that we got Dark Knightmon being
like
Talon.
her most important personality trait right now.
Yeah, or just, like, wanting to fight. Like, she's like, no, I'm exhausted, but I want to fight. It's just kind of what she does. Anyway, so the episode ends, and in the encyclopedia, we are learning about Holy Dramon. And she only appears when there's evil, and Koshiro wonders if she'd appear if he did something wrong, and wonders if she would show up if he painted stripes on Tentamon's wings. I love this so much.
It's so good.
Alright, so now that we're done with the synopsis, let's discuss the episode. What were our highlights this episode?
I think
that was fun.
Sorry.
That's about all I've got.
Pokemon.
I like Bertmon.
Here, I was gonna say, I think they did a better job than normal, I think, this week of not making it be the Taichi show and his friends, and they actually, had everyone contribute roughly equally to the fights.
So that's fair.
That was nice, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I totally agree. Like, that's definitely something I appreciated about this episode. Like, it was definitely it was no character is the main character here. It's just sort of, this is, I guess, if anyone, maybe Koshiro, but still it's like,
I mean, they
everyone
still had the moment where Taichi gets to, kill the big bad by using his nipple lasers, but that was really it, I think.
Yeah, and it's not really that bad because it's like also the team put the data in the mouth and force-fed him the data. Anyway,
yeah,
it's getting to be like totally Spies level of weird sort of.
It's very fetishy.
Fetishes every episode. Yeah.
And this one in particular, like, really cranks it up a notch.
Well, yeah, this one's for the inflation fetishists out there.
Yeah.
Have a great time with it.
But definitely the highlight for me was also I agree with you, Chloe, and that's the fact that it wasn't a Taichi focused episode. It was just an episode, and that is definitely something I really liked about this episode. I also liked Bokomon. Bokomon being in it was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm still sad that it wasn't that Bokomon. In particular, I wanted Patamon to know Bokomon.
Yeah, Daddy Mummy? I'm still sad that we never got Namon ever again.
I know, this would have been such a...
Is it a flashback?
I wanted them to just be there and be a couple, and they could meet Patamon and give them hugs.
I just like Namon. I just wanted the Gunpachi.
Yeah.
That's all I want. That's all I'm here for. Any other highlights? No highlights?
Nothing really coming to me right now.
Alright, lowlights. What were our lowlights?
The fights, while nicely balanced between all the characters, in my opinion, were also boring as hell. It was just like you saw the same thing happen like 6 times in a row, which was just
try attacking.
Character says their Digimon's name, says evolution, then says the evolution's name, then the Digimon fires off an attack, then repeat 5 times, and then have all the attacks merge into one and get eaten. That happened like at least a couple times.
Yeah, I agree. Like, my main lowlight is that I feel like they could have actually put in more plot if they removed...
Yeah, we just didn't need a fight this
battle.
episode.
Yeah, we didn't need the monster. I mean, as much as it was nice to see Bertmon be a character, and the fact that we got to see Soundbirdmon do a thing, like, just have the Soundbirdmon, like, just fly past in the direction of the next episode, and then we see them next episode. That's still fine. Kids can remember 1 week.
You're expecting them to remember a year ago.
Yeah, like, just don't have the fight in this episode and just give us more about the plot. Give us more about, like, foreshadowing with the Great Catastrophe.
We want the plot.
Give us...
Gotta have that plot.
Yeah, we want the plot. Yeah, I want the plot. And it's just... I felt like they could have instead, like, foregone the battle and actually had... Hey, what do these crests mean?
Give Wiseman a
character have? You don't have to give us the whole story, because then it's like, you know, it could be just talking the whole time, which may not be as fun.
We tried that in Frontier, and it didn't work out so well, but you know, you could have given us some balance here.
Yeah, give us like a chunk of nice little world building and establishing shots at the start of the episode. Give us more on the Great Catastrophe. Give us more details about each character. Hey, maybe have some character moments for these characters, because it's been 51 episodes and I cannot tell you anything about Sora other than she has a mother and she is in a football team with Taichi. Like, that's it. What else does she like? Besides those things, she has a mother. Wow, that's a character trait, apparently.
She has a hat.
She has a hat, and she changed hats at some point. Give us something about these characters.
Knife.
What is... Like, we don't know anything about Yamato, except he has a brother.
She's brought, like, camping supplies in the digital world, so there's a really great frame of her just with a switchblade.
Yeah, give us more of that. Like,
let her stab someone.
This episode... Yeah, this episode did not need to be another Monster of the Week battle fighting episode. It could have been just like... I know it wasn't one of our highest rating episodes, but episode 5, where they just... Even though it did have a fight in it, it was like a small fight. And it just had... The episode was just... Here is some plot, here is some foreshadowing, here is why you are the chosen children. This episode could have just dealt with all the plot actually better by actually dealing with the plot and not just saying, here's some vague plot. Look, Monster of the Week fight time, yay!
It's definitely, like, you can definitely tell when they have big fights planned, like, in the story, and which fights are the ones where it's like, well, it's a kid's show, so we have to, you know, toss this in so that the boys are entertained for a bit or whatever.
Yeah, and like I'm trying to remember the exact title of this, but it's like, you know, the mystery of the crests. It's like, well, but you didn't tell me anything about it.
The mystery is still in full force.
We basically the mystery hidden within the crests
is they have a name.
This episode was just picking up a fetch quest in a video game.
Yeah,
and also the title of the episode is also the synopsis of the episode.
Yeah, the mystery hidden within the crests is that there is a mystery hidden with the crests, apparently.
Yep, and that's why it's the title, not because we learn about it.
Yeah.
It would have been called The Mystery Hidden with the Crests Explained.
And
but no, it's just they exist.
So for this episode, without having any of the, like, fan service aspects that y'all were more into, like, I don't know any of the old Digimon or any of the old references or anything like that. Like, I feel like if I'm being generous, I would describe this episode as, like, a liminal episode, you know, where it's meant to just kind of be this whole, like, you know, transitory thing where it's like, hey, okay, we're going from this one thing to the next thing. Except,
kind of
if I'm not feeling generous, I'm just like, nothing happened, and I feel like this episode didn't really need to happen at all.
We confirmed that Millenniummon is actually for reals dead, unless we decide he's not.
Yeah, but it's like the realization that I could have read the title of the episode and had exactly as much information as I did after watching it was eye-opening for me just now. I know exactly as much about the crests after watching the episode as I did from reading the title.
Yeah, you got exactly as
definitely.
much from watching the next time on last week.
Yeah.
But, like, also, y'all, and I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago when I was sort of saying, I think this is the episode I'll have for my birthday, and it's just the one that we got in Adventure. It is the one after they defeat Devimon where they get the tags.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, they literally went
and that's all that happens.
To pick something up.
Yeah. That is absolutely what happened, and that was my fear about this episode, is that it'll just be that, and it was.
So that's
they
why Dad
got
went out for a pack of cigarettes and never came back.
Yeah, he got attacked by a Digimon.
At the bottom of the ocean.
Well, see,
Yeah.
I wish that they had just taken out the fight scene and used more time for like exposition, so we could actually learn more about the crests.
Oh, I totally agree.
Then it might have actually been a good
Absolutely.
episode. But I think right now that I stand on this episode where y'all stood on the last one, where I'm just like, this was garbage, and I was like, this is great, and y'all seemed like, that is okay, and I'm like, no, this is trash.
I enjoyed last episode.
Good moments, but was by and large not that great.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other lowlights for this episode?
I had something, and then Chloe said things.
Wise Man was the worst. He had one line, and that was his whole character, and he said it like 12 times.
I remembered mine. It's again, we had a research facility where they said we've been doing this work for generations. Okay, what did you discover? There are these things called crests. Yeah? They're important.
I guess I was also a little confused as to, Berkman's goal was like to eat the crests or something?
Apparently.
No, he
like
just
the
wanted to eat data.
information.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say...
It was like,
crests, like, couldn't you just
it's that, yeah. It's the motivation that we've had from a lot of Digimon this season. It's just to eat the data.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing original.
Yeah.
It's not new to this season.
I got the impression that whoever's running the Great Catastrophe chucked Bertman in there, sort of like, I guess, a bomb to try and
I
wipe out
assume
the
the
data.
Birdmon serves someone.
Honestly, I thought it was
that's
unrelated.
What they do.
Yeah, I thought the Cybermon launched Bertman there.
That was
I
my
just thought it was
impression.
like just unrelated.
Who's been the most neglected
Okay.
parent for all the kids out of the series so far? Maybe they're actually the
Tai
big bad
Chi's
this whole
mom?
time. So Tai Chi's mom is
Tai
the big
Chi's
bad
mom.
the whole time. That'd be
I
a twist.
think it's gotta be Mimi's grandpa.
It makes sense.
He's the
I'm
next
still-
CEO.
Oh. But then it
I'm
makes sense for
still
Tai Chi
on
being
the
such a main
Mimi's granddad is the big bad.
God, please.
I still want that. Anyway, so favourite characters, mine was Bokumon, not because he really did anything other than just existed, because him existing in this episode gave me more glee and more joy than I think I felt in, like, I don't know, I guess since, like, before last week in terms of Digimon. I'm like, Bokumon's here! Otherwise it would have just been Garbamon, but I just wanted to pick Bokumon because I'm just really happy that Bokumon is here. Evie, who was your favourite?
I just like Bertman. He got big.
That's fair.
It was
And
fun.
Quinn?
The tree. It was the least wooden character.
That is, whoa.
Wow.
That's good.
What an
I like that.
awful pun.
I like that. And Chloe?
It's a non-answer. I'm just gonna say the Sele monoliths. Like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't really care about any of the like Digimon that I didn't know, and I feel like none of the characters really did anything aside from Tai Chi, and I refused to give it to him out of principle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
I'm just
Sele
thinking like
monoliths, or maybe Chairman Keel Lawrence or something if it has to be a person.
oh yeah, one of the Sele people in.
Yeah.
Like, I wish we had more Sele shots.
For real.
But no, that's fair. What about our episode ratings? I gave this episode a 2.5 because it is a pass, but it's not a pass that you go home like I did it. You'd be like, oh, okay, I passed. Cool, great. Like it existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know how when you're really thirsty, water tastes the best. Like it's just like this has water always tasted this good? And then if you're full and you drink some water and like you've already had lots of water, you're kind of like, okay, like I don't really want any of this. And then like you drink it when you're kind of like just fine, I guess. And it's just kind of like, okay, I drank some water. It was water. It existed. It was there. It was like, you go outside and the weather, it's cloudy, but it's not like too cloudy. It's still like you can go outside and it's not like cold, it's not hot. It's kind of, it just exists. So it's not even worth mentioning the weather because it is just there. So yeah, 2.5 because it existed. It was here. It was there. And it existed. So I gave it a 2.5 because, straight down the middle. 2.5. It existed. Evie, what was your rating?
I'll give it a 2.
Yep, and
I haven't
Quinn?
even looked at the rankings yet.
Yeah, also a 2.
And Chloe?
Like 0.5?
Oof.
That's fair.
There's just nothing
Okie
for me on
dokie,
this
so
one.
Yeah.
in my personal ranking, I put it in 32nd place, which is a good spot for it because it's fair. It's pretty much in the middle. It is very much like, not the exact middle, but in middle, like lower middle, which is just, I think, where it belongs.
Right.
Evie, you said you hadn't looked at the rankings at all yet?
I've looked now, and
I've got
this
mine.
is probably just like the most boring two, so I'm gonna put it like right at the bottom of my twos.
Which
is third from bottom.
So it would be 49th place, if I'm remembering how counting works,
I think
which
it's actually
honestly
50th,
sometimes
but-
forget. Third from the bottom is...
Oh, you were correct. I thought
49th.
she said second from the bottom.
Yeah.
No, I said third from bottom.
You did. I just am wrong
Yay,
sometimes.
I counted.
I'm a programmer.
I did a
I'm
good
off
count.
by one.
That's fair. You start at 0. Quinn, where are we putting in your ranking?
Just above last week's. So,
That's fair.
yeah.
Just above last week's. So second from bottom for you?
I don't think so. I thought on mine 50.
Oh wait, no, never
was-
mind. I misread 30 as 50
I did too for a
because
second.
apparently I'm blind. So no, it's not. It is actually 42nd.
Okay, that sounds about right. It was not offensively
And in
bad, but it
terms-
sure wasn't great.
In terms of our overall ranking, it got the same score as last week's episode. Obviously, I liked last week's episode a lot less than this week's episode because I gave last week's episode a 0, which the more I think about it, it's like, why can't I give negative scores?
I didn't realize I should give a 0. I might adjust mine to a 0 for this one then.
Okay, 0 for this one?
Maybe.
I'd
Not that
forgotten
mine.
that you gave
Not
zero.
that my vote counts anyway, because I haven't been tracking.
Yeah,
since
I was about to
the
say, oh no,
beginning,
that doesn't actually change it. But anyway, so I think this week's episode is better than last week's because it's a 2.5 difference, and also this episode just happened. Last week's episode, I'm sad that it happened.
Yeah.
Quinn, Evie, what are your thoughts about?
I
know
also
that,
put it above.
Evie, you put it above.
I
And-
wouldn't, but my rankings are all over the place with these last 3 episodes.
That's fair.
I've gone
Yeah.
from like almost bottom to top 10 to bottom again.
What a mood.
I'll put it above. I'll put it above just because 2 out of 3 put it above.
Sure.
Is
Yeah,
that okay
sure.
with you, Evie? So
Okay.
that means that puts episode 51 in 47th place. So we're not doing so well with the with these chunk of episodes. Not as bad as it has been, but it's getting like fairly low each week, which is kind of a bummer. And I would like them to stop doing this, honestly.
2 of
Yeah.
the last 3 episodes are my bottom 3.
I was really hoping after, episode 20 and how bad that was that we'd be over the gas leak episodes.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I'm looking at our overall rankings, episode 32 till episode 45, with the, excluding, episode 37, which was the Mimi and Likes Corporations one, those episodes were all, higher than a lot of the episodes,
Yeah.
and then we're just plummeting. This is probably the lowest chunk of episodes we've had actually a whole season, because at least there was a chunk, in the Digimon arc, there was at least a few episodes where we sort of thought were average. These ones have all just been below average.
Yeah.
But in terms of our overall ranking, so let's move on to questions, comments rather, unless anyone has any miscellaneous thoughts that they didn't mention to the discussion.
I don't know. This episode was just I feel like if it had maybe even looked a little nicer, I would have been a lot more into it. But I don't know. It just struck me as I know I said it earlier, but just sort of like a liminal episode that really wasn't meant to have much time spent on it or be dwelled on that much. 'Cause
Yeah.
the more I do, I'm just kind of wow, yeah, nothing.
I wish they hadn't dwelled on it,
Yeah.
but they sure did.
And and the whole thing is if you're not going to be spending much time there, at least make it look nice. But the animation wasn't that good either on this one. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a grump, but this episode was this one fell on its face for me.
Yeah. So on to the comments. So we have a lot of I know the week before last we had
Have
no
I been
comments.
cancelled?
We had 2 comments. And now we've got so many this time because I guess this last week's episode just lit something up in people. So first up, they got lit up. Lit is LostinTranslationmon.
Oh, I get it.
Anyway, Sleek Emu 7 says, God, Taichi's getting annoying to the point where they hate him. The show is 90% Taichi. They'd prefer if the other kids have their mega at the same time at this moment and defeated Millenniumon. It would be rushed, but at least it'd be better than Taichi defeating Zed Millenniumon. Every time they see Taichi getting blasted and clapped by Millenniumon, they want to, yes, kill him. Because plot Taichi's still alive. That was one of the rare moments I felt in this season. I remember in the first episode we were like, oh, Taichi has a personality in this season. Ah, this is gonna be great. This is some newfangled stuff. Yeah, they made him a character for that, and it was like he jumped over the turnstiles, and it was cool because he cared about his family. And then we never got
sure
anything.
Does not remember his mom.
Nope, but it's fair because his mum does not remember him or the fact that he can't exist.
His sister now that she's in front of him. He just hasn't developed object permanence yet.
Like, this episode kept on mentioning the Great Catastrophe. I almost called it the Craptastrophe, which also is legitimate. And so we have them saying, oh yes, and all the events in the real world are because of this great catastrophe. And I'm just sitting here like, cool, wouldn't it be great if we just had Taichi's mum just, like, being at the end of the world, like, with all this, like, apocalypse stuff going on in the background, trying to find her children?
Yep.
Nope. Okay, cool. We're not going to have that. That's fine. And I did forget to mention that we had, like, when all the kids saw their crests, we had shots of them from being younger, and I thought we were going to do, like, another Greymon fought Parrotmon, and now that's the moment we all became the chosen children. But nope, we're not going to do that. We just decided to have a battle instead.
Well, and if you're going to do a flashback, could we please establish whether or not Koshiro is adopted?
Yep, not going to have that until I guess I am honestly of the belief we're just not going to get it at this point, because I swear his evolution episode's going to be learning about this tree of life and the great catastrophe, and then there's another Digimon that attacks the tree of life to eat the data, and then he gets an evolution, and we never get to find out that he's adopted, and I'll be so annoyed if we just don't do anything with any of the family stuff that we had in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what's going to happen.
I don't know. They teased it at one point, and
They teased it multiple times.
They did. And, like, he even started to say so, and now, like, even if they do reveal it, like, what's he gonna do? Call people and be like, hey, by the way, guys, just, thought you ought to know.
We've got 15 episodes to establish characters for 8 characters. Characters for 8 characters.
We haven't established a backstory after 50 episodes.
Yeah, and I don't, they're only 20-minute episodes. Like, how much information about a character can you put into 20 minutes of an episode? Like, it's just, especially when we're going to have an evolution and a fight. The evolution, will take maybe a minute, and then the fight will probably take at least 5 minutes, even on the shortest end.
I'm trying to remember
where are we going to put in the characters?
Adventure they revealed, wasn't it just, episode 2, where they were just they have different last names because their parents are divorced?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Really making us earn that reveal.
Episode 3.
Okay.
It was the Gururumon episode.
Right.
But still, all of those personality traits were actually put in their original evolution episodes to adult in the original series. Anyway, so next we have Forneo, who says, damn, this episode was so bad it was torture to get through. The fighting was so uninteresting, and it was rushed at the beginning of the episode, felt like they missed an entire week. When they saw the discount Spirit Bomb, they were just wishing for the episode to end. The original Digimon Adventure, notwithstanding all defects, as in animation, is overwhelmingly superior to the reboot. And, at this point, I think I'm starting to agree with maybe that, but I feel like there's some episodes in this series that are better than the ones in the original. And as I mentioned earlier in the episode, the episodes in Adventure had a lot more of just average episodes that just sort of existed.
So I think if you're gonna reboot, an existing and fairly well-loved property, you should have an idea of what you're gonna do with it before you start doing it. And it's really clear to me that they don't. Or at very least, anything they came up with a year ago then got put on hold for 6 months of filler villains.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next we have Mystic Digi, who says, yeah, the episode sucked. The reboot on the whole isn't great, but they don't understand how they just build up to something for 20 episodes and then end up with this. Oh wait, they say. They do. They refuse to let anyone but Taichi do anything. And last episode was a stinker. Next we have Seth, who says that dragons are always the strongest in Digimon, and that's just a serious conceit. So, seeing the holy dragons in their actual role as world protectors was really cool, even though their animation was a little underwhelming in places. But they enjoyed how weighty the fight felt. And yeah, I did appreciate the fact that the dragons seemed pretty cool and strong, and I was happy to see them there, but yeah, the whole episode kind of killed it. Next we have Alpha Marigi, who says that they saw a YouTube video a while back which was just defending the series, and it said how this is not the original adventure, this is the Taichi show, and the show was upfront about how Taichi was meant to be all all the main character and all that matters, and complaining about it being the Taichi show is like complaining about One Piece being the Luffy show, and how Taichi obviously had to be the one to defeat Millennium because he is the main character. And I'd see what they're trying to say here, but
I mean, yeah, that's the choice
Luffy,
that they made, but the choice they made was bad.
But Luffy has a character.
Also that.
Like, if Taichi had a character,
Taichi never
it wouldn't
fails.
be as bad.
He doesn't have an aspiration. He just is brave, and at one point
likes
cared
Digimon.
about his sister.
And yeah, he likes his sister. What an achievement.
Today, he was
also-
literally in this episode like, I'm not doing this for any reason, I just like Digimon and my friends. And that's his
What
whole
a mood.
motivation.
Anyway, but also the thing is with and I've only seen like maybe 20 episodes of One Piece, and I like One Piece. I enjoy it. Also, the other characters have personalities. Even the girl. They gave the girl a character.
Nami's not
And
shy.
it's not just her character. Her character isn't just the girl either. She actually has a character. It's great. And like, Zoro has a character. His character's great. So like, yeah, I get that it's, the Luffy show, but it never feels like it's the Luffy show. It feels like
It's not a big deal.
it's other character shows.
Yeah, it's not as big of a deal if it's the Luffy show if Luffy isn't, like, insufferable.
Well,
Or
and
as
Yeah,
insufferable.
like-
and why is Taichi the important one? There are 8 kids. He doesn't nominally have more special powers than anyone else. In fact, his
also-
little sister has more special powers than him. He's just the important one because we said so.
And also, let's go one deeper. The show Naruto is about a character called Naruto.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And even then, Naruto has a character. And so do his friends. And even his friends get to have arcs. And that doesn't even, like, no one's watched Naruto and says, oh, I hate how this is the Naruto show. Or watched One Piece or any of the shonen and says, oh, I hate this, how this is just focusing around this one character.
I mean, in fairness,
because the other
I'd have
characters-
watched the Hinata
Yeah.
show a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I would definitely watch any, like, it'd be great. But, yeah, Digimon being the Taichi show is annoying because Taichi doesn't have a character.
Yeah.
And yes, if they're not really, with the opening, yes, they do have Taichi being the main character in the opening, and it's still not good. Like, if they had Taichi with a character, but also let the other characters have characters,
Importantly,
that would be fine,
none
and all
of
the other shonen do it.
characters have anything. Joe
No.
likes to think he's in charge. Mimi is loud and nice. TK exists.
Yeah.
Yamato is.
Sora
Sora has a mum. Anyway,
Yeah.
yep.
I just missed what the
So-
last thing he said was. So.
Next we have Ray of Truth, who says that Z Millenniumon is basically what has been built up for decades as one of the most powerful Digimon, and the one time they don't shoehorn in Omnimon in an episode is where they fight something they would have that would have a hard time believing, like, even Omnimon could beat, yet War Greymon just beats up Z Millenniumon, and yeah, totally agree with that.
Spirit
It is
bombs him.
weird. Yeah. Next we have Anthony, who says that everybody loves Millenniumon. The writing is an abomination, who's surprisingly human and maybe just a little bit pathetic. We regret to inform you, we did not write him any dialogue. And then they say, no, but honestly, they feel like this might have been one of their favourite Digimon episodes ever. It's so trashy, so much of it is relentlessly trashy. At the same time, execution counts for a lot,
Yeah.
and this was just so visceral and massive and heartfelt. Yeah, Millenniumon was huge, he big.
Yeah, that's fair. I did not hate every aspect of the last episode. Most of my issues with it were issues with the season in general, and then also Goku.
Yeah, it was very Goku. Next we have Little Red Riding Hood, who says they've got a few thoughts. Their highlight was seeing Magnadramon and Holydramon and Godramon rather, and the story of this episode desperately need to be slowed down, expanded on, and paced on through more episodes. And there's a scene how Lotmon says so begins the battle to decide the fate of the digital world, and they almost laughed because the episode was half over at that point. Which, yeah, good point there. Next they say that every scene with Tai is bad, his survival to start was dumb, and the spirit bomb was just unnecessary spotlight steal, and would have been better if they been making friends the whole time instead of killing so much.
Mm-hmm.
They then finish off by saying, final thought, not a fan of the massive Digimon, but that's more of a personal taste thing. Just scale of Millenniumon was pretty cool though. It just feels off that seeing the Digimon like Magnamon be so big, though in that part, because they love the idea of riding on Magnamon back as Digimon Tamer, so that being big throws them off a bit personally, because it's different to their internal picture. But they don't necessarily consider that a fault, though, just personal taste.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, that's basically it. We have one person, Draconix, say that they wish they went with the Seraphimon route, but I think they're going with both. Like, I got the impression because we had
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if we weren't
flashbacks.
getting alternates for them.
Yeah, which we're probably likely doing. It was that way in the Digivice toy. We didn't get Godramon in the Digivice toy, but we did get Seraphimon, and Tailmon had both Holydramon and Ophanimon.
That, and if they ever do
So-
decide to do the, oh, by the way, this actually is Frontier, that would be the time to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so, because then we'll have Lotmon showing up again, hopefully.
I'm just imagining Kerubimon showing up as the actual big bad. It was Lotmon all along.
I think that would be good, I think.
I'd be so into Lotmon being the real villain.
No, Leomon.
Also good.
This
But I
series
want
barely
it to be
stands with
Lotmon.
just Adventure propping it up. I don't think adding Frontier to the mix would help.
I don't think it will, but I like, they
Come
keep
on,
doing it anyway.
Make it a garbage fire. Just do it. Make it a put more fuel on this already giant garbage fire.
Exactly. Oh, and then show us that Tamers was actually a prequel to Frontier.
Yeah, and Cross Wars. Put everything. Just like make this like the final Digimon series by just throwing all of the seasons together. Have Masaru show up and just punch like look.
Have Masaru
okay,
show up and
the
punch Tai.
Masaru showing up and punching Millenniumon would be the best, if that just happened. Also, remember when Taichi was like throwing down with multiple Digimon, and we thought that
Yeah.
was really, really cool.
It's in the
What happened to
opening
that?
sequence.
Why don't we do that anymore?
Because that takes
It was
animation.
so
budget.
good.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, back to like it being the Taichi show. I would have preferred if they just continued it just being like the Taichi show, like it was for the first chunk of episodes, because that wasn't bad.
No. Yeah, because like I mean, there was a time when Taichi's go-to response to being attacked was find some rebar.
Yeah,
That's
Taichi
the guy.
fighting was good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone. So thanks for joining us. Next time we'll be watching and covering episode 52, Dance of the Heavens, Hoomon. Do we have any predictions other than the obvious, and I guess Taichi's also there?
It will be disappointing.
Yeah, because it's a Sora episode.
We're gonna maybe find out that Sora's mom exists. Are we gonna seriously try and do that whole thing? Are we going to do the I can't love people thing at this point? I don't know.
No, I want to say that like something happens to Biyomon and Sora's like, oh, I do love you, Biyomon, and then it's like imagine the Garudamon episode of Original Adventure, but remove the Sora's mum part.
Yeah.
What if it's just
So
chapter 4 of
worse.
Try?
Oh no! Be anything other than the last 3 chapters of Try, please.
It's just lost
Please be the
again.
first 5 minutes of chapter 4 of Try.
Oh yeah, the first 5 minutes of chapter 4 I don't even count as being part of Try because it was.
Oh
was,
god,
like,
no!
I
It's
was
way
just good
too
on its
for
own.
this world.
Like it is probably like I've watched more of that part of chapter 4 than probably any other parts of chapter 4 because I just like that part.
Yeah, no one got licked.
Yeah, that's positive. That's an improvement. Any other predictions?
Sora will not get out her knife.
Oh, that's sad.
Right?
That's a sad prediction.
I want Sora to stab the Digimon. You know, just whatever's attacking her, please.
Yeah, let.
Yeah.
I know we say
have the
Sora has no
Shinji fighting the
personality.
second angel.
What was that? Iggy?
I know we say Sora has no personality, but then Biyomon has even less by extension.
It's really bad.
Biomon's a bird.
Biyomon has like negative personality.
Has Biomon spoken?
Not
I don't know
recently.
who you're talking about, so that
pink
says a lot.
bird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much only in the evolution this week.
Sora's
Yeah,
paper?
that's a
Yeah.
pretty good point.
I think there was one line that it had this week. It
Maybe?
said something before evolving, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, like, but that's about it. Sora and Biyomon
Yeah,
were
Biyomon
technically in
Digivolve.
this episode.
I didn't even think about that, but now I think about it, like, all of the other characters Digimons have, like... I guess maybe Gabumon doesn't really have a personality.
Yeah.
I don't think Agumon has a personality
Oh,
now I
God,
think
no.
about it.
Personality is protagonist.
He's
Yeah.
not even that hungry.
Not usually, no.
I think Tentomon has the
I
most.
think it's like
Yeah, Tentomon has some personality.
Tentomon and Palmon.
Palmon.
Maybe
A
Gomamon at
little bit.
push.
Patamon.
Gomon, yeah. Gomon has... I think Gomon has quite a bit of personality
Gomamon
because
has
he
some
loves
real
Joe and he's supportive.
Yeah.
He's your emotional support seal.
Tailmon
Padamon's
is
okay, I
the
guess.
adult with trauma, I guess.
Yeah, she's the trauma. Patamon is baby.
Yeah.
Yay, baby.
Tentamon had a lot of personality. Like, look,
For a
Tentamon was
while.
also a candidate for my favorite character. He had personality in this episode because he was jealous. That was kind of cute. But yeah, we don't have personality for Gabumon and Biyomon, and surprisingly, Agumon. Again, it's not even the good Taichi show, because if it was, at least Agumon would have some semblance of a character. Like, give him something. But no.
Yeah, like, if this were gonna be just the Taichi and Agumon show, like, give all the kids a mission, send them off on a thing, and have Taichi spend, like, 3 episodes with one kid before going off to help another one. Whatever. Like, that's fine. You can absolutely do that, but they're not.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess predictions are just like, well, surely if we have, like, negative predictions, maybe the episode will impress us?
Yeah.
I hope to be surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's basically it for our predictions. So thanks for listening, and our Redbubble's link in the description, and you can get more than just shirts there too. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode, or message us on YouTube, not our website because it's still not up, but as soon as I have internet, it will be. You can follow us at TranslationMon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and one in the Digimon subreddit. And we would appreciate it if you were to review us on any podcast catcher that you use, and if I see the review, I will read it out. And if I don't see the review, please tweet at me or email me and tell me you left a review so I can go hunt for it. You can also donate to Patreon, which link is from... There we are. That was the outro. Alright, anyway. No, you can donate to me on Patreon, which link in the description, from as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to a listed Discord server, but there are high levels, more rewards, such as early episodes and raw episodes, and more. So check that out. And also, me just not being able to do words ever apparently is a thing now. And thank you to our current supporters on Patreon, Joe, Stephen Rees, who's Wildman64 on Archive Our Own, Kaidawashi, Chisai, who you can follow on Twitter at Chisai236, Carl, Lismet, who's Electmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Manomamimon, Sam, Anthony, Keith from Gone While Hunting, a Hunter Hunter Rewatch podcast, Silverheadfreak25, Magnus, Lucas, Jason105, Patrick, Jason Unwanted, and Grey Tanuki. And I breathe. You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which can be found in the description. It's paypal.me/Edgemon. You can also donate to me on my coffee account, ko-fi.com/Airdra. And yes, I managed to only fumble the once, because I cannot still say linked in the description. It is a very,
That
very
is a surprisingly
hard
difficult...
thing to say.
Yeah.
Is your LinkedIn linked in the description?
You should,
I can't say
you should
LinkedIn
put
anything.
a link to your LinkedIn for your link in the description.
Is your
There's a link
LinkedIn
to my
not
in
linked
the
in?
description. No, my LinkedIn is not linked in the description.
Oh no!
But how will I join your professional community?
Yeah, I want a network.
I want a network, but I can't. Like, imagine me trying to say LinkedIn linked in the description, because I can't even say something else is linked in the description without saying LinkedIn is linked in the description.
I want to
Because
see you
I
try
think
now.
I'd die. Why do y'all want to see me die? Anyway, so thank you so much for listening, and thank you to my wonderful, lovely co-host for joining me. Quinn, where can we find you?
In a hotel room for this evening, but not much of anywhere.
Ooh.
And you'll leave your keys in, like, at the front.
Money's on the nightstand.
I like
I
that.
see why.
Anyway, Chloe, can we find you anywhere?
The same hotel room, but also on Discord.
Okay, it's a Discord hotel room.
Yeah.
And Evie, can we find you anywhere?
You can find me on the Twitters at Evie Pataman or on the Moncast with
And also on the
decently
Discord.
people. And on the Discord, yeah.
Yay!
I share
And also,
selfies.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
We have a lot of chat. I feel like every time I look at that server, there are more channels, and I'm happy. Like, people are talking. Yay! But, yeah, so of course, thank you so much for listening to this episode. And hopefully I have more updates about my internet. That'd be good. I hope so. But anyway, lockdown happens, and it's completely understandable. Please give me the vaccine soon, government. They're now giving it to people who are 40 and up. And I'm like, oh, that's almost me. Sort of. But, I'm gonna be mad if they just like stick it at like 30 plus, because I'm like, I'm late 20s. Give me it. I want it. There are people who don't want it, and The vaccines are just sitting there not being used. I'm just like, give it to me. Give to me. Give. Anyway, I just would like to go out and be free in the world. Anyway, so that was my rant for this week, I guess. But thanks for listening, and thanks for joining me, and I will see y'all next time, unless you decide not to listen, and then I guess just enjoy whatever you're doing. So, see y'all, bye!
Bye!